What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here at F-Line Garage, where I'm working on the C4 and gotta go low. I don't like the amount of wheel to fender gap that there is. The rear's really high, the front's high, so I ordered some lowering stuff, but to do the front is really hard. We gotta take out the front leaf spring, take out the rubber bumps, and put in a lower rubber bump so that the car will sit lower on that. The rear is easy, just longer bolts. So we'll get to that shortly, but I'm working on the front. I got to take off the tie rod, the lower control arm, steering knuckle, I believe, some other random things. I'm going to look at it as I go, but how hard can it be? You take off a few pieces, you cut off a few rubber things, you glue it on, you put it back. Not that hard, right? Let's find out. Let's get started. So here's the first thing. I took off the outer tie rod, castle nut, and cotter pin. Next, we got to take off this. This is your sway bar, front sway bar. You can, I believe, disconnect it from here or here, because the whole point that we're trying to do is lower this lower control arm. And here's the leaf spring that comes around in front, and we want this whole mechanism to drop out of the way so that we can then pull this out. So the shock has to be unbolted here, and I believe that will be out of the way enough, because that's holding it up, this is holding it up, and this is holding it up. So we have to do 1, 2 bolts, 3 bolts, and then this pressure fitted, what is this called? Whatever it is. And then we got to do the same to the other side, and then it should all be out. The previous owner did give me some new shocks. I don't know the quality of them. I might throw them on because these look a little a little worn. If you look down in there, you can see kind of the rubber bump right in there. And that's what's going to get shaved off and lowered. So, whoa. And then down here we have brackets that we're gonna have to take off that hold this in place. So just gonna undo a few more things. This was pretty easy. I found that pretty much just use a fork to get it off. I didn't even have to put pressure on it, so that was cool. But man, grease everywhere. All right, start unbolting. Okay, so these are, what did I say? This is 13 millimeter. Now I was turning this, not knowing that there's a nut inset back here. So I had to use that and my little one over here to get these loose. Now this came out, this was I think 15 millimeter, and this we came loose. This I got loose with the cotter pin, but I left a few threads showing. Took this out. Now all of this is free, and I have my jack holding it up. Now I jacked this up, took some pressure off this nut, and I can manually undo it now. Okay, this is critical because this spring, leaf spring, where'd that castle nut go? And I put all my stuff right here. This leaf spring is pushing this whole thing down, right? So I am controlling it by my jack. So I'm going to slowly lower this, and you can see everything coming down. I'm going real slow. Seeing it come down. There, that just released. The spring's coming out, or the shock, the ball joint, or whatever this is. Now that's loose now. All right, so now we're completely have all the pressure removed. Now that's off to the side. This feels pretty bad. This even comes back. Wow, it comes back. It's not bad. If you guys watch my excursion short, the shock just went up and stayed up. It never came back out. So we got this loose, we got this loose. Now I just got to figure out how much looser I need, or what's holding this up to drop this even more to release the spring over here. I thought this was gonna drop a little bit more, and this was not gonna have any pressure on it down here. So I gotta look at this a little bit more. Just kidding. I just had to push down on this. It's so corroded and gunky back here. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. I'm trying to find a screwdriver real quick. Like, it's not a screwdriver, but like, that's like at least a 1/4 inch of crap. All gunked up. Oh my gosh. Okay, and you can see like the back of this is just garbage. The back of this. Okay. This is all trashed. I can just like peel off this stuff. So, all right. That's loose. This is good. This is what I wanted. Now I just gotta do the same thing to the other side, and then there's 2 U-clips holding in this bracket, the bracket that holds the leaf spring in. So let's go do that to the other side. This actually went way easier than I thought. The last step is to remove the brackets that hold the leaf spring in, and then I got to get creative and find a way to fish this thing out. I think that's going to be a pretty difficult task. This wasn't actually too hard. Just so much grease. I mean, it's all over. It's on my knees. It's literally everywhere. It looks like an operating room gone bad. So next step, let's take off those U-bolts and get creative on getting this thing out. All right, so those brackets underneath are off. I took those off, and then there's those shields right there that stay right here by the leaf spring. I had a pain to get this out of the control arm. I took off this bolt connecting here. I attempted to take this bolt out, can't even see it, on the other side, right there, but it's hitting the frame. So I'm not able to do that, but I did get it loose, and it can come out. Now what I'm trying to do is take the shock out. Now I do have new shock, so it's one of those while I'm in there, and those came with the car when I bought it, whole bunch of other stuff that came with it. So I'm trying to take this top nut off. However, the whole mechanism inside is spinning. So I'm gonna have to soak this, but that'll give me a little bit of extra clearance down here, I hope, to try to remove it. I'm gonna go check the other side, but let's first spray this, see if we can knock some of that rust off so that I can thread on the new one. All right, got the leaf out. I finally actually got that bolt out. For some reason, my prayers were answered. I was able to turn it just enough to slide it out. So there's the bolt there. And then this thing came out super easy. But that lower control arm is critical to get this out very easily. And now I see I have a ripped boot right there. Do you guys see that? Right there. So I got some other general maintenance while I'm in there. I'm still trying to get that shock off. I got the new ones there. May need some heat, but this is easy now. Parts will be in tomorrow. What I got to do is cut off the top rubber here on this side and this side. Then we got to take those, and because we've shortened the gap here, because the rubber is now missing, it went from this to this thick, we're going to have a gap there. So we got to trim those nubs off to take out the gap that we created here so that this can still hold and carry the spring. But yeah, actually this is super easy. Once you get a few pieces off, it is super easy. I've also been told we got to cut this off, maybe make it half of what it is on each side. These are going to stay. And we're just cutting off the top, so easy peasy. The rubber bump stops, or whatever you want to call them, are finally off. Wow. So I first started with a drywall saw because I was told that could work. After about 40 minutes of sweating bullets, that saw is garbage, should be thrown away. I got out my little jigsaw and just kind of ran it right down one side, then ran it down the other side, and it came right off. I got a little bit of cleaning up to do, but that is definitely the way to go. It smells, it smokes, but yeah, that is the tool, or a bandsaw, something. Not quite sure how I'm gonna clean this up yet. It'll get there, but the 90% is done. This is kind of what the garage is looking like at the moment. It'll all start going back together quickly. Those are the new shocks. I got 2 more back there. There's all the hardware, but I still can't get that nut off. So I'm either gonna cut it. I can't really use heat because the plastic's around here. I don't wanna melt it. So I gotta contemplate what I'm gonna do there, but the front suspension's coming back together. Parts will be delivered here shortly, and then sway bar bushings, we'll put those on too while we're in here, so stay tuned for some more. So the front suspension is back together. I got this new shock on. I did have to sawzall off the old one, and I just have a few trim pieces to put back on. The other side is all done as well. Again, just a few trim pieces, but I noticed that this was bowed up, so I straightened it out again, but it's all there. I do have a power steering leak, pretty bad one. Everything I put in is now leaking out. You can kind of see it through there. So it's either a hose or the rack. Don't know yet, but now I will figure that out. But I'm working on getting the rears out now. These are gonna be much easier. 2 bolts up top, drop it from up here, and this bolt down here goes through there. So just gonna cut off that top, plop in the new shock, we should be good. And then the longer bolts to lower it are gonna be right here. So we just gotta take out this and put in the 10-inch bolt. So super easy, guys. All right, so the rear shocks are in, redid those. And here are the longer bolts in back. I think I did them right. There were no instructions really. So I did reuse the old rubber gaskets, bumpers. I don't know if I was supposed to, but I did. I can always take them off. These are the easiest things to put on. If I didn't do this, it would take 10-15 minutes. So in the back of that are all the new wheels and tires ready to go. They just got to be put on. I'm going to look at that power steering leak down there. You can kind of see the mess before I bolt everything back up. But suspension is done. Let's put some tires on and see how this thing rides. Hopefully it's a lot lower. Well, there she sits. Suspension has been quote unquote lowered. I have to be honest, I am underwhelmed greatly. It doesn't look like it's been lowered at all, actually. So all that hard work for nothing? I don't know. Maybe it'll settle. I don't know. But yeah, I thought the rear would have dropped 2 inches is what they said. Maybe I shouldn't have used those blocks. But I mean, I can still fit my whole hand in there. And I thought it was gonna be, the fender was gonna be down to about here. I'm not so sure it actually got lowered. Maybe I did something wrong. I'm gonna go research because these are easy to fix. I can't quite do anything more with the front because I already cut off everything. So there she sits, guys. I hope you like this, I can't quite say lowering of the Corvette because I should have taken before measurements. Oh, that's okay. I did what you're supposed to do to lower a Corvette. I will follow up if there's something else I missed or need to do. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.